Hello everyone, it's Teacher Joel of Your English Mind, and thanks for stopping by class today. In today's class, we are going to learn about how to talk about our hobbies, okay? Now, today's class will be in 4 parts. The first part we're going to discuss is what is a hobby. Then we're going to take a look at what is the difference between a hobby and a habit. I see this mistake all the time. Students confuse a hobby for a habit. They sound similar. They are similar in some ways, but they are different things. The third thing we're going to look at is when talking about our hobbies, who, what, where, when, why, and how. We're going to use this to, give information about our hobbies when we're talking about it with other people. And then finally, we're going to look at why talking about hobbies is important. I'm going to give 3 reasons why. So we've got a lot of work to do in today's class. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, first, let's take a look at what a hobby is. Now, a hobby is something you do for fun and it brings you pleasure. Pleasure means that it makes you feel good. So every day we have a lot of things we need to do, whether we're a student, we're working, or we're a parent who's working. We have a lot of responsibilities and things that we need to do each and every day. So a hobby is something that we enjoy doing in our free time to help us get our mind off all of that stress and all of those things that we need to worry about. It's a nice welcome break in our day or when we do have free time. Now, why are hobbies important? Well, a big reason is because hobbies are good for our mental health because they reduce stress. In recent years, there's been lots of research about the importance of taking good care of our mental health. Having hobbies is a great way to improve our mental health, okay? So that's a big reason why hobbies are important, okay? Now, I want to take a look at a few examples of some hobbies. They could be photography, fishing, gardening, and drawing. Now, there's many different kinds of hobbies people have. Obviously, they are impacted by different things. Usually, it's from their childhood, things they like doing when they were a child, but it also could be something that they learned later in life. So different people have different hobbies, and they change throughout our life as we get older, or they stay the same. It really depends, okay? So now we're gonna take a look at part 2, which is what is the difference between a hobby and a habit? Okay, now that we know what a hobby is, let's take a look at what the difference is between a hobby and a habit. Now, as I said at the beginning of class, I see a lot of students still mistake what a habit is and what a hobby is. And like I said earlier, they are similar, but they're also very different as well. I'm gonna go ahead and explain that now, okay? Now, a hobby is something we do for fun. Okay, we talked about it earlier. Fishing, gardening, activities we like to do for fun. But a habit is an action or behavior that comes from repetition. Repetition means to do it again and again and again over a very long period of time. Okay, so that's what repetition is. So the difference between a hobby and a hobby is something we do for fun. A habit is something we do because we've been repeating this action for a very long time. We can have good habits, but we can also have bad habits. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, okay? So, A habit is something that people do almost every day, but a hobby is something we do less frequently. Frequently just means similar to often. So I like playing video games. We're gonna talk about this later in class. I'm gonna talk about my hobby, but I don't play video games every day. I play video games in my free time. But when it comes to a habit is something that I do every single day, okay? And we're gonna take a look at a couple examples here of some good habits and some bad habits. So good habits would be brushing your teeth, exercising, and drinking lots of water. I do these things every day, okay? Because I need to take care of myself. These are good habits to have. I've been repeating these actions over a very long period of time. Now, we can also have some bad habits. Smoking, eating lots of junk food, staying up late. These are examples of bad habits. We don't want these in life. But again, these are things that, myself included, of course I have bad habits, everybody does, but these are repeated actions, things we've been doing for a very long time. And sometimes it's very, very difficult to break your bad habits. Now, comparing that to hobbies, there's no such thing as a bad hobby. Gardening is not a bad hobby. Fishing is not a bad hobby. A hobby is anything that you enjoy doing, okay? So let's go ahead and let's take a look at part 3, where Teacher Joel, I'm gonna talk about my hobby, and I'm gonna teach you how you can talk about your hobbies with people you meet. All right, now we're gonna start with part 3, which is talking in more detail about a hobby we have, all right? So the first thing we're gonna look at is introducing our hobby. What is our hobby? So let's say you're at an event, you're at a party, you're at an English class, you know, whatever it is, and someone says, what are some things you like to do? What are some of your hobbies? Well, I'm gonna teach you how to talk about it. So I'm gonna use myself as an example for this, okay? So Teacher Joel, I really like playing video games. I still like to play video games. I know I'm a bit older, but I still enjoy playing video games. I always have, okay? Now, I have been playing video games since I was a child. So when I was very little, one of the first things I can remember is, you know, playing Nintendo. I used to play Mario Brothers and all those old Nintendo games and just really fell in love with video games. Had a lot of fun, played with my friends in my neighborhood, still love to do it today, okay? Now, I used to be an avid gamer when I was younger, but now I'm a casual gamer. I just want to quickly describe these two words here. Avid. Avid is an adjective. It means that you are very enthusiastic about it. You do it often. You have a lot of passion for it. Casual means more relaxed, not as enthusiastic. So avid and casual are antonyms. They mean the opposite thing. So when I was a kid, I had a lot of free time. I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. So in that free time, I played a lot of video games. I love to play video games. But now that I'm older, I have a lot of responsibilities. I don't have a lot of free time. I'm more of a casual gamer, okay? So this here is just a really quick introduction into, you know, introducing your hobby, okay? So let's go ahead and look at talking about why we like our hobby. All right, let's look at the second part of talking about hobbies, and we're gonna talk about why do you like playing video games? Now, Obviously, your hobby is going to be different from Teacher Joel's, or maybe it's the same. That's why I put this in brackets here. You know, why do you like photography? Why do you like fishing? Why do you like drawing pictures? Everyone has different hobbies. But for this example, we're going to be talking about Teacher Joel, and my hobby, of course, is playing video games, okay? So, Teacher Joel, why do you like playing video games? Well, I've listed 3 reasons here. The first one is it helps me relax after a long day. Earlier in class, we talked about how hobbies are good for your mental health. You know, some days are very stressful. I have a bad day. I'm not in a great mood. And I just kind of want to turn my brain off. I want to forget about the horrible day that I've had. Playing video games is a great way to help me do this, okay? I also like video games because they're challenging and fun. I still have fun playing video games, all right? I know I'm older, but I still have that same feeling now that I did when I was a kid. I just still enjoy them. And they're also challenging. One of the things with hobbies is, you know, you can use hobbies to improve yourself and to challenge yourself, to become better. So a lot of video games that I play, usually I'll play them again. I'll beat them and then actually increase the difficulty and see if I can beat it on that difficulty as well if I like that game, okay? So I still like the challenge and I still find them fun. And also, video games help build problem-solving skills. Years ago, many people thought video games were bad. You know, mums and dads would say, oh, you play too much Nintendo. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for you. But actually in recent years, there's been a lot of studies that have shown that playing video games actually can help improve our intelligence. I like playing puzzle games. I need to figure things out and put things together. So I actually have to use some problem-solving skills within the game. I actually like that instead of just, you know, shooting zombies or, you know, shooting monsters. That doesn't take a lot of intelligence. So I really like puzzle games because I actually have to think about it, okay? So let's go on to the next part, which is talking about when we enjoy our hobbies. Right, moving on to our third part, talking about hobbies, we're going to look at when we enjoy our hobbies, okay? So we've talked about what our hobby is, we've talked about why we like that hobby, so let's take a look at when we enjoy our hobby. So, Teacher Joel, I like to play video games, but I have a lot of things that I need to do during the week. I'm very busy, I teach in the morning, I teach in the afternoons, I teach at night. I teach 7 days a week, okay? So I don't really have a lot of free time these days, but when I do have free time, that is when I will play video games, okay? Sometimes I have a break in my schedule, a student cancels, something happens, and I've got a few hours to myself. Oh, okay, I'm gonna use this time to play video games. I also play when it's raining outside. That's perfect. If you like playing video games, rain is your friend. You don't need to go out. You don't need to worry about any of that stuff. You can just be a couch potato. I can turn on my PS5 and I can just play for a few hours. I don't need to worry about it. But if it's a beautiful day, I kind of feel guilty about staying inside on such a beautiful day. I should be out. I should be doing things outside. So I like to play also when it's bad weather outside. And I usually play at night or on Sunday afternoons. I try not to play during the day because if I play during the day, if I do have some free time, I kind of feel that's a bit of a waste of a day for me. I should be working on other things like making YouTube videos. So I try to wait until the nighttime after I'm done work to enjoy, to enjoy some of the games that I like playing on my PS5 or on Sunday afternoon when things are not as busy. All right, moving right along. I'm gonna talk about where I like to play video games. All right, so when I was younger, Teacher Joel, I used to play video games at arcades when I was younger. What is an arcade? An arcade, they don't really have them anymore because now people, play games at home or they play on their phone. But years ago, I would play video games at arcades. So you would go in with coins, you would put coins in the machine, and you would play the games there. There were usually lots of different games that you could play. I really, really miss arcades. They were really, really fun. I loved to play video games at arcades, but now they don't really have them around as much anymore, like I said. Yes, and now I usually play at home. I like to play video games with friends, but with technology and all the amazing things they've done, I could play video games with people from all over the world. So I live in Taiwan, but I can actually play video games with my friends back home in Canada or the United States. We can get on a headset and we can enjoy a game together. That's really, really cool that we can do that. And once in a while, I'll play at my friend's place. Like I said earlier, when I play games, I do like to play with my friends sometime. Like to be in the same room, kind of trash talk them, talk a little trash with them. Keeps it fun. So sometimes I'll play at my friend's house when we both have time in our schedule, okay? So let's take a look at the next step. Let's move on to the next part, which is talking about who do you play video games with, all right? So Teacher Joel, actually I usually play alone. A lot of the games that I like are usually single player games. Single means one. So I usually play games alone. That's just the type of game that I prefer to play. However, depending on the game, I will play with friends. For example, Mario Kart. Mario Kart, a lot of people know this game, so much fun to play with your friends. I probably wouldn't play Mario Kart alone by myself. It's such a fun game to play with friends, but it's a very different feeling when you're playing it alone. It's not as exciting. I also like to play sports games with friends as well. Those are the type of games that I will play with friends. And I seldom play with strangers online. That's just a personal thing for me. I don't really like playing with strangers. Sometimes you can meet some jerks online and they say a lot of rude stuff and they really make the game, not that enjoyable. And I kind of want to avoid people like that. So I seldom play with strangers online. So let's move on to the last part, which is talking about how often we do or we enjoy our hobby. All right, we're at the last part about giving detail in our hobbies, the things we enjoy doing. And that is talking about how often do you play video games? So, Teacher Joel, I usually play about 5 to 10 hours per week. That's on average. Now, some weeks it's more if I have a bit more free time. Some weeks it's less if I'm very busy, but I would say on average, I usually play about 5 to 10 hours per week. Now, if it's a game I really enjoy, I'll find time. Find time means, okay, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I really, really, really enjoy what I'm doing, so I'm gonna find time. Meaning, I'm gonna spend more time enjoying my hobby, but I'm gonna have to make that time up later doing something else I don't like. So sometimes I will, buy a really exciting game. I'll get really into it. I'm like, okay, I'm only gonna play 1 hour. I'll play 1 hour, but it's still a great game. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna play another 2 hours. I'm gonna find time for this. Now, I've gotta be very, very careful about that because I need to limit myself because I need to be productive. Productive means I need to get stuff done during the day. I have lesson plans, I've got to make YouTube videos, I've got to go shopping, I've got to exercise. There's all these things I need to do. I need to be productive each day. I can't let my hobby get in the way of that, okay? I feel very guilty if I spend all afternoon playing a video game and I don't finish any of the work that I need to do. I feel bad about not being productive. So now that we've talked about all of this, I'm gonna put it in a paragraph so you can see exactly how you can introduce the hobby that you like and talk about it in detail. All right, so now that we've talked about the what, why, when, where, who, and how often of our hobby, I've got all of the information that we talked about in one big paragraph. Now, I know this looks like a lot, but don't worry. We went over this earlier in class. I'm gonna read it out loud and it'll sound a lot easier for you, okay? I really like playing video games. I have been playing video games since I was a kid. I used to be an avid gamer, but now I just play for fun. I like playing video games because it helps me relax. I also find playing video games fun and challenging, and some games actually improve my problem-solving skills. I usually play video games in my free time, which is at night or on the weekends. I also play when it's raining out sometimes. I used to play video games at an arcade when I was younger. Now I play at home or at a friend's place the odd time. I like to play video games by myself, but depending on the game, I will play with my friends. I don't like playing online with strangers. I usually play for 5 to 10 hours per week, but if I find a game I like, maybe more. I need to limit my time playing video games because I still need to be productive. So, guys, I know that looks and sounds like a lot, but like I said earlier, we went over all of this point by point. This is just how it sounds all together, okay? So, I want to talk about one more thing, and I want to discuss why talking about your hobby with others is important. All right, friends, we are at the end here, and we're going to close today's class by talking about why you should talk about your hobbies with others. There's 3 different reasons I'm gonna go over. The first reason is that it's an easy conversation starter with strangers. Conversation starter just means like a topic to discuss when you're meeting a stranger. A stranger, of course, is a person that you don't know and that you've never met. So when you're meeting somebody for the first time at a party, at work, in a class, or some other event, an easy way to get to know someone is just to simply talk about what you like and what they like, okay? So yeah, it's an easy conversation with strangers, an easy conversation starter, sorry. The second thing, or the second reason why, is that it can lead to friendships, romantic relationships, and even business opportunities. When you discuss your hobbies with others, you might find out that you have a mutual interest. Mutual interest means you both like it. You both enjoy it, okay? So if you both enjoy something, this could possibly lead to a friendship. I like video games, you like video games. Cool, we have something in common. We have a mutual interest. You know, and that could also lead to, like I said, a romantic relationship or even business opportunities. Let's say that I like photography, you like photography. there's an opportunity here for us maybe to work together in the future. Maybe we could open up our own wedding photography business or our own freelance photography business because we have a common interest. So maybe there's an opportunity for us to make money through our hobby, okay? And the third reason is you can learn more about your favorite hobbies. So, Teacher Joel, I love video games, but there's lots of games that I don't know about, that I've never played, that I've never heard of. And I'll be discussing games with some of my friends, and they'll say, oh, Joel, like, have you played this new game or have you tried that new game? No, I haven't heard of it. So friends will recommend games to me that I've never even heard of, and I probably never would have known about it if they didn't tell me. So, discussing your hobbies and talking about the things you like with others is actually what I feel is the best way to get more information about the things you really enjoy, your hobbies. Okay. Well, that's it. You guys did a great job in class today. We went over a lot of stuff, but talking about hobbies is an easy way to get started with your English abilities. Talking about yourself. Anytime I have a new student, this is always one of the first questions I ask them, whether they're, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. I simply just ask them, what are some of their hobbies? Get them to talk about themselves. So I hope today's lesson was very helpful, and I hope to see you in class again real soon. Hello everyone, it's Teacher Joel of Your English Mind, and I just wanted to say thanks for stopping by class today. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the Your English Mind YouTube channel and click on the notifications bell to make sure that you're getting updates on all the new English videos we are producing. Also, add us on Instagram and Facebook, where we're posting new English content all the time to help you build your English skills. You did an excellent job in today's class, and I'm very proud of you. I hope to see you in class again real soon.